What's up, guys? It's the weekend. We made it. It's Saturday. I feel like I haven't been on here in forever. NHRA's had a break. No Prep Kings has been off too. The last video I did was me racing my car. If you hadn't seen it, I would appreciate it if you just go over there, check it out, give me a like and comment because you know I love them. Now, NHRA is in Kent, Washington. They call it Seattle, and I've never been. So over there on that side of the United States, they have the Mission Food Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. That's where the previous semis race each other during qualifying for extra bonus points and cash. They've had a lot going on. This is how we're going to run it today. I'm going to show the runs from the challenge, but I've also got some highlights because they've had a wild day. And we're going to kick it off with the funny car first session on Saturday. I got Buddy Hull.
Machine, a big pop and no parachutes because of it for Buddy Hull, who already has been into the sand once this year. And he's going to have to ride the brakes as the chutes have not come out on that Lascure machine. He is getting it low down, and now the chutes blossom as he goes into the sand for the second time this season. Buddy Hull is into the sand and stopped short of the net down there. But that Lascure Mechanical Services machine, look at Buddy. He is frustrated.
Look at this on the NHRA replay. Spencer Hyde out of it very early. And it looks like it's going to be on a clean run here. Oh, yeah.
Almost no warning, though, for Buddy. Didn't have cylinders out. You saw the cylinders just start to mix up right before it blew up, and there was nothing Buddy Hull was going to do to prevent that. And then at this point, it almost looks like the motor's dieseling, doesn't it? Like the way the engine is still kind of pumping smoke out there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He's got it bouncing. That's Buddy on the brakes pretty hard. And there the chutes finally pop. Not even 100 feet, 25 feet, and there is nothing salvageable on the body of that machine.
Man, dang it, Buddy Hull. That's two right in a row in the sand. That sucks for them. They got to come back up there. That's a rule as far as having to be in contingent for the championship. You have to make it back. But what's crazy is they're having 3 runs today. So Top Fuel got 1 run. Well, Top Fuel and Funny Car both got 1 run on Friday, and then they're doing 3 runs today. So he did that on the first one. He skipped the second one, and then I'm still waiting to see is he going to make it on that 4th one. Anyway, glad he was okay. Now the next one is Hunter Green. Now, you know, him and Blake Alexander were sharing rides. That's Chad Green's son. They were sharing rides. Blake Alexander's out. Hunter Green is still pretty green to Funny Car, so here we go.
Richard's wife Marlo at home. Her turf machine. Brother Dave. Try to pilot that car down. Shoots out. Hang on, Hunter might have scraped the wall down there. He definitely got a piece of it. Play NHRA replay. Shoot out early for Dave, and Hunter's car gets over, and right there just kind of kisses it with the backside of the machine. It's the bodywork that's going to be a bigger problem.
All right, so like they said, there's going to be some body work to have to be done to that one too, just not as much as Buddy Hull's. Top Fuel is next up. Sean Reed has had a accident on the track. I'm going to show it. He's okay. They did take him to the local hospital to get checked out, but he was conscious, and it was scary. Here's the accident.
Sean Reed, hang on! Big crash. Sean Reed lost a tire and is hard into the wall and across the track. All right, race fans, we are going to show you a replay of what happened to Sean Reed's machine. First, the final update that I have on Sean. He is alert. He is conscious. He is communicating with the NHRA medical staff and with the paramedics on site. They are going to transport Sean to an area medical center for further evaluation. But watch this frame by frame and keep a close eye on screen left, which is the right side of the race car and the tire, and you'll see a slight flash out the right side as the tire comes apart. Now, it's hard to tell whether the tire comes apart first or the engine comes apart and takes the piece of the tire with it. But there's definitely a flash out of the engine of that race car, and we will let the professionals who get paid to evaluate stuff like that figure out which came first in that situation. That's certainly not our expertise here in the booth. But the chutes get out right away. And you can see Sean, I mean, you can see his left arm up in the cockpit. He's doing all he can to drive that race car, but there's not a lot you're going to do at this point. Still ran 385 at 290 miles per hour. That's through the 1320. And then the front end collision with the wall. The spray you see is fuel out the front of the machine. The nitro is in the front of this race car, which is why there's not a big flash fire out the back. And the sparks and parts go flying as Sean Reed's car now backwards down the track. And then he'll come back across the track here. At this point, Sean Reed is just along for a very scary ride.
None of us want to see that. Nothing but prayers and good vibes to Sean and his wife and that whole crew. I'm just glad he got out and is conscious. Okay, so now the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge is going to be my brother, Clay Milligan, versus Tony Stewart, and Sean Langdon versus Justin Ashley.
Clay's car goes quiet. Tony makes his best run of the weekend, 381, 327 miles per hour. Neil Toyota, a trip to the finals. Tony Stewart, the points leader, awaits. 49 for Ashley. They both puffed the tires, and neither driver gets back into it. Or perhaps they weren't able to. Sean Langdon's going to coast to a 685 and a final round appearance in the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge.
Man, I hated to see that happen. Clay's had he's had two really good runs. He ran 370 on Friday, and then he ran 376 on the first session, which was the second quickest of that session. So I hated to see that car get shut off, and I haven't heard what happened because I know they're busy. Funny car. The Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge is going to be Cruz Petragon versus Matt Hagan and Ron Capps versus Austin Prock.
Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge on the line here. Nitro Funny Car. Wow, Hagan with a huge starting line advantage. Cruz is going to get in. 405 for Cruz, puts him in. 396 for Hagan, sends him to the finals. 396, 329 miles per hour. One foul on the starting line. They both smoke the tires. Austin pedals it and legs it out to a 442 at 294 miles per hour. Did a great job catching that car as it took the tire off a little further out than Ron Capps' machine did.
All right, Pro Stock car is going to be Dallas Glenn versus Matt Hartford and Greg Anderson versus Corey Reed.
About right now is knocking Dallas Glenn out of the Mission Foods Challenge. He's got a whole bunch of people from Rottler here this weekend. The Total Seal, Rob's Tony Camaro. Matt has had a ton of success in the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge this year. They leave within 12th down. Hartford had to drive it. Dallas has a better race car. 646. Wow. 212.4 miles per hour. And Dallas Glenn resets the track record at Pacific Raceways and takes the #1 spot in Mission Foods Pro Stock Eliminator. Corey'd love to continue the momentum here, but he's got to beat Greg Anderson, who wants the #1 spot back.
Wow.
Oh, Corey takes the tire off.
And red
And he
lights.
was red. Let's see what Greg does. 647.2, 212. Dallas Glenn hangs on to #1 and will have lane choice in the finals of the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge.
Pro Stock Motorcycles going to be John Hall versus Gage Herrera and Richard Gaston versus Matt Smith.
Wow, huge starting line advantage for John Hall.
He's your current #1 qualifier. Does he have enough motorcycle? You betcha. 672. John Hall, 201 miles per hour, takes American Rebel Light beer into the finals of the Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge. Nobody wants to stage.
This is what it is all about here.
Matt Smith and Richard Gadsden in a bit of a staging duel. Gadsden finally goes in. Here we go. Gadsden off the line first by 18 thousandths of a second. Here comes the Buell, charging hard on the top end of the track. It got there. 673 beats a 676. Matt Smith by 79, 10 thousandths of a second. Guarantees the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge is going back to MSR.
All right, we got the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge final. For top fuel, it's going to be Tony Stewart versus Sean Langdon, and then we'll go over the ladder.
Trying to pull even with his teammate Doug Coletta for the most Too Fast, Too Tasty wins this year. Langdon leaves first. And a great drag race. It's going to go to Sean. 371 at 338 miles per hour. Sean Langdon goes low for the session. Top speed as well, 338 miles per hour. He will be the number 2 qualifier on race day. He wins his 4th Mission Foods Challenge of the season.
All right, y'all got the ladder. Doug Coletta, number 1 qualifier, 367. You see how many cars they have, so he gets the bye. Justin Ashley versus Sean Reed, which he won't be there tomorrow. Still sending them good vibes and prayers their way. Brittany Force versus Ida, the battle of the girls. Clay Milligan, my brother, qualified number 4, and he gets Antron Brown. Sean Langdon versus Cam Ferret, and Tony Stewart versus Josh Hart. Funny car, Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge final is going to be Austin Prock versus Matt Hagan.
Time to find out. Hagan, Prock, set. Prock with the better reaction time. And Austin Prock is going to win it. 387.9, 336 miles per hour. Austin Prock and Matt Hagan make the quickest side-by-side run of the weekend in Nitro Funny Car. That was worth the wait. Austin Prock steals the number 1 spot out of J.R. Todd's hands in the final run of Funny Car. Matt Hagan goes to number 2. Prock wins his 2nd Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge.
All right, funny car ladder is going to be Austin Prock's number 1. He's got Dylan Winsky, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Spencer Hyde versus Paul Lee, Ron Capps versus Hunter Green, Daniel Wilkerson versus Dave Richards, Matt Hagan versus Buddy Hull, Bob Tasca versus Beckman, J.R. Todd versus Cruz Petragon, and Chad Green versus Alexis DeJoria. All right, here we go. Dallas Glenn versus Greg Anderson for the Pro Stock Car Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge final.
Will it hold? .646.2. Dallas Glenn resets the track record and wins the Mission Foods Challenge at 212 miles per hour. Greg Anderson was out on Dallas and the car went silent.
Pro Stock Car Ladder. Dallas Glenn takes number 1. He's going to have Kenny Delco, Matt Latino versus Derek Kramer, Matt Hartford versus Mason McGahey, Greg Stanfield versus Stephen Bell, Cody Coughlin versus Chris McGahey, Aaron Stanfield versus Troy Coughlin Jr., Greg Anderson versus Corey Reed, and Jed Coughlin versus Eric Enders. Pro Stock Motorcycle, all MSR final, Matt Smith versus John Hall.
So not only is Matt Smith looking for the win here for the Too Fast, Too Tasty challenge, that's also in the back of his mind. And here they go.
And John Hall would love to hang on to the number 1 qualifier as well. Wow, Matt's off the starting line first by a bunch. Here comes John, though. And John Hall got there. 672.9, 200 miles per hour as Matt pulled the clutch in. Gage Herrera picks up the number 1 spot in the Gittrix Pro Stock Motorcycle All-Star Call-Out. John Hall wins the Mission Foods Too Fast, Too Tasty Challenge and earns the number 1 qualifier on the heels of his win in Norwalk 1 week ago.
Pro Stock Motorcycle. John Hall took the number 1 spot against. He'll have Chad Bostic, Richard Gasson versus Angie Smith, Gage Herrera versus Chase Van Sant, Matt Smith versus Gianna Evaristo. All right, y'all, what a wild day. You know I'll be back tomorrow evening for the recap for the race, so please come back and check on me. Thanks, guys, for watching, like, and subscribing. Leave me a comment because you know I love them.